Porn is self-mutilation, not self-pleasuring. Now, there's nothing wrong with pleasuring yourself. Pleasure is a good thing in moderation. Remember what the Buddha said. Desire is the cause of suffering, but desire is part of the human experience. But desire need to be contained, need to be tamed to a certain extent. And porn is one of the worst cravings you can have because masturbation is one thing. Masturbation has its place in a man's life in moderation, but porn should not have a place in a man's life because porn rewires your brain rewires your brain to objectify a woman, to seek pleasures over anything else in life, makes you addicted to your ejaculation and waste that precious sexual energy. Why am I saying that porn is self mutilation and not self pleasure? It is self mutilation disguised as self pleasuring. So when you see those movies about college and high school, porn is seen as something that all men do, that all men consume, that all men should accept doing, that there is nothing wrong with porn. But I'm telling you, porn is an unwholesome activity. I'm not saying you should blame yourself or feel guilty. What I'm saying is that porn is an unwholesome activity, which means that it does not bring you any good. On the contrary, it will have negative repercussions on your life. And that's why it's self mutilating because your brain will fry. Your dopamine receptors will be desensitized. You will need more quantity of porn, more variety of porn, more intense porn. And that can lead you to watch things that you would have never watched before and things that might be even illegal. And the problem with porn, it not only it is bad for your brain, but it can also cause a cycle of anxiety, of stress. Most of us who used to watch porn or who are still watching porn use porn to cope with certain emotion. So when you are dealing with negative emotions, for me, it was stress. When I was stressed, I jerked off. I jerked off when I was stressed, so it would relieve me from my stress. The problem with that is when you do this, you are training your mind to deal with stress by jerking off and watching porn. You train your brain to use stress as a trigger to watch porn, but watching porn increase the levels of stress in your life. So that's why it's a vicious cycle. And you can replace stress with any negative emotions. If you use porn to deal with the negative emotions, instead of facing that emotion, you use porn to cope with it, you will increase the level of emotion. So you can run, but you cannot hide. You can run by watching porn, but you can't hide. And this emotion will come back strongly and it will bite you in the ass stronger than you ever had before. That's why I'm telling you that porn is not something that you can get enough of. Yes, you might watch porn, and yes, you ejaculate, and yes, you feel that that moment is enough. But a few hours later, maybe a few minutes later, you want it again. And that's how you can watch porn multiple times a day, multiple times a week, all the time. Your mind thinks about porn more than anything else in the world. That's why I'm telling you, porn is self mutilation. Porn has no place in a man's life. And I understand it's not easy for all the reasons I mentioned for to quit porn. But you should. I did, and I'm a better person for it. Now, I'm not saying that you are a bad person because you watch porn. All I am saying is that porn is an unwholesome activity and you would be better off without it. So you should try it out. Challenge yourself to quit porn a day at a time, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you very soon.